What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines, the town of Woodgarden, with our Let's Play Season 6, Episode number 16, and I checked this time. So, I want to keep working on this area, and I did one tiny little thing offline. I'm still trying to mess around with some ideas for how to improve traffic flow around here. I added a rotary and changed some one-ways around, but I'm getting back up on the side streets, which is backing up the rotary, which is backing up the highway. So I keep tuning in and tweaking a little bit. It comes and goes, though, in waves. And we also have a bit of a traffic jam happening over here. So we need to provide people with another way, other than that one bridge, to come across the city. I probably should have kept that bridge that I had a while back. But we'll keep tuning and tweaking. I'm fine moving people out to do that. And one of the things I want to do is kind of group some of this better. So what I've done, I've districted off a few things. I've called the leisure spot down here Lansdowne, which, if you're from the Boston area, that's the street right behind Fenway Park, the Green Monster, and basically there's a bunch of nightclubs there, so I figured we'd call this Lansdowne. I'll probably rename that street to Lansdowne at some point, the central Ave that runs through the heart of it. But I've called this the Commons, after Boston Commons, where the giant Central Park is. And then that is where our tourism is. And then I've made a couple districts over here. So actually, let me switch over to info views and districts, and that'll actually make it a little easier. So we've got leisure, tourism, standard commercial, IT clusters, and regular residential. So this is all residential up here. If we look at the actual zoning, see that residential is everything north of the financial district. Financial district offices act as a buffer, and they're sitting on this main heavily trafficked road. And then back here, I want to turn this all into commercial, and I've rezoned it as regular office, not IT cluster, so that it kind of builds up in height as you get into the center of the city, right? So changing those things around, we've got a little bit of commercial demand, less than residential, but I want to start moving people out of here. And that might help some of our traffic problems. We can also get rid of this high school and find a new spot for that. Let's do this. Let's pause. Let's make sure all these buildings move out. Those are all residents. So we'll do this. We're going to move a bunch of people out. We're going to make this island more of kind of workplaces and leisure and tourism. And we do have a residential area up here, but I want to just shift the balance a little bit in favor of having commercial spots over here. So let's do all that in commercial. And it's way more than we need right now, but hopefully that will fill in. It'll give the IT businesses a place to sell stuff locally. And we're just going to kind of shift the balance around and move some people out over the next couple episodes. I want to back this down quite a bit. So I'm going to change how this side of the river is. I'm going to do much more low density. The center downtown street can have some taller buildings on either side of the block, but then I want to back things down to lower density residential all around that. So we'll have a little downtown area, nothing too crazy. We'll do high-rise bands, and we'll see if we can't shift this around a bit. Let me see. I'm going to save real quick because I made a mistake last time I did this. All right, so we've saved it. I won't accidentally drop a tornado this time like I did last time. So let's empty out that cemetery. And I think what I want to start doing is gradually rolling over some of the zoning, especially up towards the outskirts, into low density. And then once that has settled, what we can do is do a high-rise band downtown. But I don't want to do that all at once because that'll move out pretty much everybody that's in here because of the size of this this district. But let's do this. Everything that you see on screen right there, let's make all that low density. Both commercial and residential. We'll basically just rewrite all the zones that we have in here. Yeah, let's get rid of the office space here if we're going to do that in low density housing. I think that only makes sense. So we will do this kind of over probably the next couple episodes. I'm going to try and, again, keep these ones short and kind of give you daily updates. But we'll tackle one little chunk at a time and kind of slowly start rebuilding what's happening over here. These, we don't need tiny little buildings like that. Let's start with that. We'll start slow. We'll move it out bit by bit. As we get residential demand climbing back up, we will continue to shift the town around a little bit, because I really want to bring it back to the initial vision that I had. I wanted to start kind of low density and building up to a gradually larger downtown area, but in an effort to get to 60,000, we ended up making a very dense area over here and over here. And I think this is totally fine. Like, I'm working on this slowly, and we will improve it. We'll see what we can do with the traffic situation.
Could strike at any minute. Residents should take precautionary measures.
But we will, yeah, we'll keep picking at little parts bit by bit.
A sinkhole has occurred somewhere in the city. Stay out of harm's way and contact authorities with any information.
All right, so that is one cemetery emptied. Let's go empty that other one. Can I get it right? There we go. And then let's sinkhole this one. Right smack in the middle with a 1. That might disrupt the metro line? No, I guess not. Oh, you know what? I didn't redo the commercial over here, did I? Let's do that. And let's even do it. Let's get rid of this right here. I'd like to actually move some stuff around. Make this maybe like a little square, a little... Well, I guess it's not a square, it's a triangle. But make that like a little park, little slice of nature right there in the middle of everything. And we do have another park right over there, but just to break things up and mix it up a bit. Again, I want to make this town a lot less dense than it was. And we can afford to do that, I think, now. We'll have to see the balance. The tricky part to balance is... Let's see how many of these we can actually fill in with the larger brush. And then we can go clean up, fill in some of the gaps here. It doesn't do that good of a job when it doesn't have a lot of room to work with. But sometimes it's a little quicker. In this case, it is not. But we're going to do this because it does provide a bit of absorption for the noise pollution that's going on over here. Thanks to the traffic on that main road and the monorail stations that are right there. So let's check that out actually. Let's see how good this is doing at dampening some of that sound. If we look at info views and noise pollution, you can see like how red things are on this side of the metro where there aren't trees, and then things start to drop off quite a bit. It's still a little bit of noise pollution, but I don't think it's going to make anybody sick from the noise pollution. At least I hope not. Let's run some temporary power over here to help things spread to a pocket or two that aren't getting electricity. Is that the only one? Man, if I wait like 10 seconds, we're probably going to be able to delete that. So, I think that's a pretty good spot. for our town. This is just going to be a slow process of rolling a lot of this over into low density. I'll have to figure out kind of where to pack it in, but I want to do commercial and office space all down this middle block. Then maybe we'll have one street, one row behind that of high-rise band, high density, and then maybe not on this side by the river because there's not a lot of room, but we can start to slope things down back here.
Predict that a sinkhole could strike at any minute.
Do more
Residents should
residential
take
neighborhoods on the low
measures.
density side up here. So we'll move some people out. We'll try and keep an eye on our budget and at least keep it in the positive. We don't have to make tons and tons of money because we've bought most of what we need for the city at this point. And all the monuments are on map. It's just a matter of, you know, squeezing in the right unique buildings. And we did that with, you know, little things like the cinema, the theater. We'll keep adjusting. So let me just do this before we go. Where is my landscaping tab?
A sinkhole has occurred somewhere in the city. Stay out of harm's way.
You don't even have to
and
wait for it to
contact
finish
authorities with
dropping
any
into the earth
information.
before you can start rebuilding it, repairing it, which is nice. And we'll do that. So we've got some problems here or there, and that will be the case for quite a while, actually. We're going to have a lot of icons on the map as we're moving people out and shifting the balance around, but we'll let those demand meters kind of decide, you know, what project to work on. As commercial ramps up, we'll rezone and rebuild some of the commercial blocks. Residential, same way. You know, as there's demand, then we can afford to move a bunch of people out because they will want to move back into that new zoning that we define. But we'll keep, we'll keep on keeping on, basically. There's going to be, like I said, I want to stick with the, I think I said this before, but I want to stick with the dailies, industries episodes, but we've done the bulk of the city at this point. But before I drop in all those factories like I did up here just to get the achievement and get everything unlocked, before we kind of rebuild that all in, I want to really settle into kind of what we want this city to be. And I think that I haven't necessarily done that in past Let's Plays. I kind of have these concepts and I build them out and I talk through them, and then I say, hey, we'll come back to this later. And I just want to, I want to keep working on this city. I really do like this one. And although there is a lot of grid work, this is, you know, this is how I experience cities, right? I'm from the Boston area, born and raised, and we love our grids in the United States. So we will, we'll get loose where we can, and do some funky lines and bends, and cram a bunch more people into low density housing on this side. I think it's really going to shape up to be a cool map when it's all said and done. And yeah, I think, you know, getting to the monuments, getting everything unlocked was one thing, but now kind of reshaping it into what we want it to be is the next part of the battle. And we'll keep doing that on dailies. Some of them maybe a little bit on the short side. They won't be as long as the, you know, 40-minute videos we had kind of building this town up. But hopefully you enjoyed the daily content, the little updates here and there. We'll pick little projects and little ideas, and eventually we'll we'll run out of things to do. But I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon because we've got tons of traffic problems that we could be looking at. I think I changed this off camera. I took this, which was a tunnel, and I built a bridge out of it. I like seeing the traffic, except when I cause things like this. So we're going to have to figure out what exactly to do with all the traffic on the side streets, because that is what is backing up the rotary, right? These people right here aren't moving because those people are stuck, because those people are stuck. So we might have some kind of serious problem here, actually. And we can solve that a couple different ways. But this is just backing up way, way, way too bad for us. You know, I don't want it backing up all the way onto the bridge, or worse, all the way back here. And I think we just need to find some different ways for people to get around the map. But again, we'll pick little projects and do things, you know, in stages, and just keep tuning and tweaking the town. If you did enjoy this video, as always, likes, comments, and shares help the channel and are greatly appreciated. If you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications. Follow me on Twitter and join the Discord to get involved in the discussion. And stay tuned for daily updates in this series, and let me know what you want to see for little projects, what we should do for district names, street names, building names. But yeah, what did we forget? You know, do we want to see like a zoo, a nature reserve? Let me know in the comments down below. Until the next one, though, when we'll tackle one more project, whatever that project is, this is Move the Mouse, signing off.